Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom. It is day 2 of our September 2023 release, and I have a fun card to share. Hey, so I'm using Jaded Blossom's Halloween Dice 2. They're Gnome Dice Halloween Costume Add Ons. They're Gnome Dice Sign Add Ons. They're Build-A-Booth die. I'm using the Candy Corn for Sale new stamp set, along with Gingham Linen Doodlebug pads 6-inch and the Happy Haunting 6-inch pad from Doodlebug, and some Simon Says stamp black glitter cardstock. So I went ahead and I cut out the brooms from the Halloween Dice 2 and the Gnome Dice Halloween Costume Add Ons. And I cut them out of Nina Desert Storm 80-pound cardstock. And I'm adding some Copic marker to them. So I'm starting out with E25, and I'm just flicking it on. And then I will use E27, and I'll flick some more on. This does not have to be perfect, right? It's just supposed to look like a, what do you want to call it? Like a hairy broom. So I'm adding that on. And then lastly, I will add on YR24, which is kind of a gold color. And I'm just going to flick that on. I've got them sticking on a piece of Post-it tape just so I can sort of hold them as I'm doing it. There we go. Now all my die cutting today was actually done with my Anna Griffin Empress. Awesome little machine. And I'm just sort of flicking that all on there. Now, like I said, this does not have to be perfect. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put together the little brooms. That was cut out of dark chocolate cardstock from Paper Tray ink. So I'm just going to add those two on. I'm using my Studio Katia embellishment wand to pick things up. Working on my Stampin' Up! Pad as per usual. And using Barely Art glue to assemble things. There we go, adding the little band that's cut from the dark chocolate cardstock from Paper Tray ink, and I will weight those down. Now this little broom was cut from the Gnome Dies Halloween Costume Add Ons too, and I'm adding. It's basically the same things, right? And I'm just adding that down. Now I cut these little witch legs out of paper from Doodlebug's Happy Haunting 6-inch pad. And the little shoes were cut out of black glitter cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. And I will weight that down. Now I went ahead and I cut out the hat from Gingham Linen Rainbow Petite Prints from Doodlebug. And I'm inking around the edge with some Black Soot Distress Oxide ink and a little sponge dauber, little finger one. And the actual Build-A-Booth that I cut the Build-A-Booth out of black cardstock from Paper Tray ink. And then I went ahead and I cut out all the planks from the Tangerine Buffalo Check Wood Grain 12-inch pad. And I'm going to ink around the edges of those as well with that same Black Soot ink. So easy stuff. It's not hard. And if it's a little messy, that's okay. Now you'll see in the upper right-hand corner, I used the sign part from the Build-A-Booth to cut out the sentiment Happy Halloween from that new Candy Corn for Sale stamp set from Doodlebug, or from Jaded Blossom. I got Doodlebug on the brain. Okay, so now I'm just going to finish inking around the edges here, and then I will assemble our Build-A-Booth. So it's kind of fun, right? Now I'm going to ink around the little hat band that was cut from that same Doodlebug Happy Haunting pad. And remember, you can use the whatever Doodlebug pad you want to do this. Everything matches, so you can do that. Now you'll see that I cut out the other sentiment, Broom Parking, from that's also from Nina Desert Storm 80-pound cardstock. And I inked around the edge with the Black Soot. And I also used Paper Tray ink black cardstock to make a sign. And that is from that same Candy Corn for Sale stamp set. So there we go. So I'm just making sure everything's lined up, and I will weight it down. Now I did cut a frame or a shadow for the sign that's 1/8 of an inch larger out of Paper Tray ink black cardstock, and I'm just going to stick that down and weight that down as well. And I'll put together my little witch hat. So remember, you can use these little accessories without a gnome. You don't have to have a gnome on your card, right? So I'm just going to add my little hat band on. And how cute is that? And I will weight that down as well, just so it dries nice and flat. So now I have a piece of Paper Tray ink white cardstock, 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches, with my Martha Stewart scoreboard and my Teflon bone folder, just to have a vertical A2 size card base. Now, the Build-A-Booth takes up most of the, what am I going to say? Most of the cover of that A2 size card. And I'm just going to add, first of all, a 1/2-inch strip of paper from that same pad. There we go. Just to decorate the inside a little bit. That's that same Doodlebug Happy Haunting 6-inch pad. But like I said, you could use any Doodlebug pad. Use the new release one if you could get your hands on it. Okay, so now on the inside, I'm using our mini tag dies 3. And I cut out the sentiment for the inside that says trick or treat. I think it says trick or treat, does it? Yeah, trick or treat. And that's on Nina Desert Storm. And then I cut it out of black paper train cardstock as well. And I'm going to layer those up. I pulled out some odds and ends from the matching Happy Haunting odds and ends from Doodlebug. And I'm just going to quickly, decorate the inside. So I'm going to layer up those mini tag dies 3 there. And I will stick it down with my ATG tape off, kind of going off the side of the card there. And then I'll add my cute little pumpkin. And he'll go off the side of the card too. I'm using some Barely Art glue. But that's okay. I'll trim off the overhang with a pair of scissors. And I'm going to add that little bat as well. It's fun to decorate the insides of your cards with these Doodlebug odds and ends, right? It's kind of fun. And I'll add this little star. Why not, right? And then we have a cute little decoration for the inside. And I will trim off the overhang with a pair of scissors. There we go. I'm going to make sure I got to do a good job of that. And there's the inside. So kind of fun, right? Now on the outside, I'm going to stick down a piece of paper from pattern paper from that same pad as a background, but I'm going to put together this booth first. So it was cut first out of Paper Trank black cardstock, and then I'm going to layer on that Doodlebug Tangerine Buffalo Check wood grain in the 12-inch. And that was, I used the wood grain side. So I cut out all of those planks and I will add them to my card front with some Barely Art glue. And remember, you can use these planks however you like on the card. There's no rules, right? So I'm just going to quickly stick all of those down. And there we go. So kind of fun. I will weight it down. Now I'm going to pop up the sign Happy Halloween with some 3M foam tape. I do kind of cock it to the side there. And I'm going to pop down this adorable witch hat on the right-hand side. I'm just trying to figure out, I'm going to make sure it sticks down. There we go. And I'm just going to make sure it kind of hooks over that Build-A-Booth. There we go. And I'm trying to figure out where everything's going to go. But first, I think I'm going to park my brooms, which is kind of fun. So kind of an odd number of brooms. I just find that's more pleasing. So first I'm going to add a piece of pattern paper to the back, to my card base. And that is cut 1/8 of an inch smaller than that A2 size card front. It's got little ghosts all over it. So it's a pattern, but hopefully it's not competing too much. Everything kind of still pops out. And then I will pop up this booth with some 3M foam tape as well. Kind of easy. And the nice thing is that it tears, right? That's always good. So I'm just going to pop that up. So I'm loving this new release. I can't wait to see what everyone's going to create with it, right? It'll be so much fun. Make sure that if you get your hands on this release, to share what you make on the garden, the Jaded Blossoms garden on Facebook and the and the Instagram site. We'd love to see what you create. Tag us. Okay, there we go. Just trying to figure out where things are going to go. I'm going to pop up those brooms first, and I will stick them down flat. I do add a little bit of dimensionals behind the handle. I trim, some small pieces. I didn't put it in the video, but I did just to make sure that things don't dent. Now this last little broom will be popped up. There we go. And I will pop that little broom parking there underneath the hat. Isn't that cute? I just think it's too darn cute. And now I'm going to cut these legs in half, and I'm going to have them kind of popping up from behind the, from behind the cute little booth. And I'm going to have them, with some dimension. And I'm going to kind of, stick them behind, sort of like the witch hung up her hat and dove behind the booth, right? Kind of fun. Made a quick escape for some reason. So I'm just adding on the rest of that foam tape there. Remember, you can use little slivers of this stuff. And there you go. So I'm going to stick that last one behind. Isn't that cute? I love the glittery boots. I just think it's so much fun. So now I pulled out some shape sprinkles. These are just some stars though, you know. These are called Midnight Magic actually. I'm going to use purple and black. And I'm using a pen blade to pick them up. So I'm just sort of adding them, you know, in a pleasing visual triangle, you know, odd numbers, all those things. And there we go. I always try not to make things too busy, but I'm like a more is more kind of person, so it's hard for me. But there you go. Isn't that fun? So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, be inspired by the team, the Jaded Blossom store to get the Gotta Have It Now. And be sure to come back tomorrow to see some new videos and new projects. Thanks, everyone. Bye.